Good morning and welcome to the Board of Trustee meeting. I know Mother Nature delivered us a little taste of summer a couple of weeks ago, and we're certainly not seeing that now, as I think everybody had frost on the ground today. But we're all still glad to be here, and we have a pretty full agenda, so we'll go ahead and get started. Secretary Schuman, do we have a quorum?
We do. We have Trustee Trevan joining us through Zoom.
And is the live streaming operating?
I'm getting a thumbs up from Jacob, so it is.
Okay, wonderful. At this time, I'd like to call on the board for a motion to accept today's agenda.
So moved. Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, we have comments. Are there any comments from the trustees concerning our minutes from our March 23rd meeting? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? All right, thank you. First of all, I want to start off this meeting by talking about our time in Detroit. We had a wonderful time. It was our formal meeting, board meeting and retreat, and I certainly want to thank everyone, staff. A number of you were in attendance at the meeting, so I think that was wonderful. We were able to onboard our new trustees. It was a great opportunity for them to be there and, start to set our roles and responsibilities. I certainly want to have a special thank you to Vice Chair Trustee Penn for assisting us in the Detroit retreat and navigating and getting all the appearances of everyone that attended it. It really came together nicely. And again, we look forward to working with the city and having, potentially another meeting there. The end of the academic year brings much joy with its awards and ceremonies. On-campus events and commencement, it's also bringing a change in leadership. And one of our shared governance partner, who's here today is Chen Kin-sun, and this is his final Board of Trustees meeting representing the Western Student Association. It's certainly been a pleasure watching you and watch you excel at WSA this past year. I also had an opportunity to attend the WSA year-end celebration, and I want you to know this board really appreciates all the work that you guys do. You're very professional, you have dedicated leadership, and it's a great experience. So I also encourage all the trustees to attend one of their meetings if you get the opportunity, if you're here on campus. Certainly wish on your next leg, your next journey into the professions. We want to know that we wish you well and certainly have a family here, like from the Broncos. Let's just give them a round of applause. Stand up, stand up. But as we say goodbye, we would also like to formally welcome the newly elected president of WSA, Kayla Bird, to the Board of Trustees. Kayla? Congratulations on your new role, and we certainly look forward to working with you. Your responsibilities are going to be challenging, but yet there's an opportunity to represent the student body, including here at the board meetings. It's rewarding, and we're extremely excited about working with you this year. As I mentioned, commencement is one of those celebrations we look forward to each semester, and this spring, 2023 ceremonies are going to take place Saturday at Miller Auditorium, starting at 9 o'clock, noon, 3 p.m., and 6 p.m. And we're going to be celebrating over 2,300 graduates during those time slots. So it's a real testament and dedication of those students, and we're very thankful. Thank you to the trustees who have graciously agreed to serve along at those ceremonies. I think commencement's a culminating event for our students, and it's really, there's a lot of energy in the building. The parents are there, family support members, and it's just really a great time. And so I always encourage the trustees to participate as much as you can. As for developments unfolding in campus, I'm excited to see that the new Student Success Hub is going strong, coming to fruition, and we're going to have a presentation by Dr. Edwin Martini, who is Vice Provost for Teaching and Learning and also the Dean of the Merz Tate College. Although Student Success Hub is still kind of in its early stages, there has been a lot going on in terms of the planning and the actual launch of this, and we're already starting to see some of the benefits of that for our students. We look forward to hearing from Dr. Martini shortly. I'd also like to mention for the board's attention that we have a few activities that we'll be undertaking, and certainly they are our fiduciary responsibility, and we take that very seriously. We have recommendations to weigh on in terms, well, not this meeting, but the next meeting will be obviously a discussion on the university budget, tuition, board, and room. And these things are going to be critical for us as we step into the next semesters. We always like to follow and be good stewards of our funds, so we want to certainly maintain pricing that is affordable and possible for our students by also providing them a high-quality educational experience. Other board actions, we're going to hear from Dr. Diane Anderson, Vice President of Student Affairs. I want to make sure I get your titles in. Who will discuss a proposed new name area for the flagpoles that are located right here in the heart of the campus. In addition to Dr. Anderson and Dr. Martini, we're also going to be considering alcohol at Waldo Stadium. I know from attending WSA that was a high priority for our student body. Yeah, I think I got 4 questions, the same question. What's your position? What's your position? So anyways, it's coming to fruition, you guys. I'm happy to report. And then later also we have some curriculum proposals and the personnel report to go into the consent agenda. At this time, I'd like to ask President Montgomery to share his remarks. So the mic is all yours.
Thank you, Chair Edgerton. As you just had mentioned, this is the busy time of the year, full of celebrations and happy times, with Saturday being the culmination. That's our 337th commencement ceremony. 2,318 graduates, so my elbow will be a little bit sore when we're done, but it's a happy time. And so I particularly want to thank the faculty and staff and trustees who come. I think we make the ceremony extra special by our presence. Lots of hugs go around, and I haven't seen that at a lot of other campuses, and that tells us about the family. So I thank those who are going to be able to be there to celebrate and share in the joy for our students and their accomplishment, and for their families as well. At the 9 o'clock ceremony, we're going to recognize Congressman Fred Upton with an honorary degree, and he'll give us some brief remarks, and we'll be able to recognize his more than 3.5 decades of service to this area and his championship of WMU. As we've come to the end of the ceremony, the year, we've had some time. We've spent some time over in Waldo Library with our chat and chill, playing putt-putt, and I got smoked again by all the students, but nonetheless, we keep trying. And so I want to thank everybody for that part, and it was, while it was cold outside, it was warm inside the building. And not only have we had that kind of activity, obviously we had Western Weekend. I want to thank everybody who worked on that. It culminated in a great Bronco football game on that Saturday, and I think the turnout and the excitement in the air was palpable. Also in the year, tennis continues to do it again. Was it 28 championships for our MAC championships for our tennis team? Dave Marin and his team are just off the charts good. So again, good end of the year there. Giving Day, really pleased, got over $792,000 from our generous donors around the campus. Lots of different contests out there. People were vying for their favorite charity. It was the number of people who gave, which was particularly heartwarming and noteworthy, as well as the dollar amount. So I want to thank everybody who participated in that activity. Had farewell to the Bernhardt Center for those who got to come. I put on roller skates again with lighted balls on the bottom and blue colors, so I didn't look too very well, but nonetheless, others looked really great doing that, and there was various other games. I saw, I don't know, what's the one with the grab the ball in the middle. We had 4 police officers competing with each other for that. It looked like rough, and I was glad I wasn't part of that game, but nonetheless, they were having lots of fun. So lots of good times for all the students and faculty and staff participating to say goodbye to the Bernhardt Center. We look forward to this summer saying hello to the new Student Center and Dining, which will open sometime in the month of middle of December, July, I think is right. Keep giving Diane a date, and in July, I say July, she says in July, so anyway, sometime. But we look forward to that opening and welcoming it as a part of our campus and being an anchor that it's supposed to be. From the President's Cabinet, we've spent some time touring around the campus. We were initially welcomed by the good folks in the College of Education, had a great visit out there, and then most recently we went out to the College of Aviation. They put me in a flight simulator. I did not crash, but I'll leave that alone after that. But nonetheless, great to meet people and find out what they do and to share ideas and just have a chance to chat. So thanks again to the College of Aviation and all their folks for hosting us and welcome us. They are getting ready to welcome a brand new fleet, so hats off to them and thanks to the foundation who supported the purchase of 32 new primary training planes, known as Super D aircraft as well, to help our students get state-of-the-art training and continue to be one of the top 2 or 3 aviation programs in the country. So again, Dean Thompson, want to thank you and hats off to your team for leading that effort. We also had a celebration in Reed Fieldhouse that was a little bit State of the University, more some Employee Appreciation Day. Very good turnout. Thanks everybody who came. Lots of great food. There was even line dancing at the end for those who hung around and did that. I did not participate in that, so you were saved from that. But in any case, it was great to break bread and have fellowship and get there to talk with each other. I'm off next week to South Korea with Dr. Paulo Zaglimello to meet and try and form some partnerships in Korea, as well as to address the Korean Congress. I'm going to give an address there. So if you hear screaming and running away, that's because I talk. So nonetheless, so I'm going to Korea and having that chance. Again, the fact that this could happen and the fact that Paulo and his team could get an invitation to speak to their Congress is a testimony of the connectivity we have. So all joking aside, we are a globally connected campus, and those partnerships really matter and have a real point of distinction for us as a campus. Just want to end with some congratulatory notes. Obviously, the Graduate College ended their year with some celebration of top graduate students. They gave out prizes for the graduate student teaching effectiveness, graduate research, and the Creative Scholar Awards. And there are, I think, 15 or so graduate students who got campus-wide awards, so hats off to all of those students. Got to go up to the College of Health and Human Services for their annual student poster day. Had some great presentations up there, fascinating students, really impressive. Got to hear a lot more about the work Erin Montgomery is doing on aphasia, and thanks to Kathy Wrigley, her coordinator, for chronicling the visit and also putting us together. It was really fascinating work that folks are doing up there. Our English students are getting awards. We had 6 Bronco English students and their chapter advisor, Adrian Redding, who attended the Sigma Tau Delta's International English Honor Society Conference in Denver, Colorado. Senior Kostani Stephenson and doctoral student Shoshana Aflar got honored for their original compositions, and Dr. Redding was a moderating panel. So again, a whole broad range of expertise. And then last, I want to end with another thanks. We've had an awful lot of tours, and the consistent comment from the tours is how great the campus looks. And so I want to thank the ASME employees who have done just a bang-up job making this campus look absolutely fantastic. With that, I'll turn it back to you, Chair.
Thank you, President Montgomery. Now I would like to welcome to the podium representatives of Faculty Senate and also WSA after Faculty Senate committees. These are shared governance partners. These organizations work with trustees to guide our university forward in a shared vision of maintaining and advancing Western's reputation for excellence. Dr. Sarasamy.
Chair Edgerton, members of the board, President Montgomery, colleagues, and guests. On behalf of the Western Michigan University Faculty Senate, thank you for the opportunity to address the board and update you on our activities. Earlier this month, the Faculty Senate concluded its annual elections. 22 seats for department senators, along with 3 representative at-large senators, were up for re-election. In addition, 24 council members were elected across the 6 Faculty Senate councils and 6 committee members for our 2 standing committees. The term for these seats is 3 years, beginning May 1st through April 30th, 2026. 1/3 of the Senate is re-elected every year. The Faculty Senate Ad Hoc Curriculum Review Work Group recently hosted 5 feedback sessions in review of MOA 2301, recommended revisions of general principles of curriculum change. The work group has been hard at work updating this policy, and we are receiving feedback on this policy from the Faculty Senate website, online feedback, through May 2nd. After we review all the feedback and make changes, we are hopeful that the MOA can come before the Senate at our May meeting. The Research Policy Council has finalized reviewing Faculty Research and Creative Activity Awards. This year, 33 proposals were received, and this is up from 24 proposals last year. 13 applications were funded. Over the last month, the Transfer Credit Committee expanded its membership to include early college programs and the Office of Register Representation. The council continues its foundational work on the development of a transfer credit handbook. The WMU Essential Studies Executive Advisory Committee has reviewed and discussed program issues and procedures, also including transfer credit, a big theme this year. A comprehensive online WMU Essential Studies faculty handbook has been published and is available on the Faculty Senate website. The WMU Essential Studies Governance Day was held last Friday and was well attended by faculty, staff, and administrators. The intent of this Governance Day was to begin planning for the 4th year overall plan of program review. The council I would like to feature today is the Campus Planning and Finance Council. Jeffrey Lindenberg from the College of Aviation is the current chair, and the council is comprised of 13 faculty members, 3 permanent members, 2 students, and 2 advisory members. The intent of this council is to develop and recommend guidelines or review existing policies that provide a framework for making recommendations to campus planning and finance. Recent reviews include meeting with WMU Department of Public Safety to initiate methods to measure and determine if marginalized groups are overrepresented in the frequency of encounters or enforcement actions taken, and get an update on campus security, including incident response and management. The Campus Planning and Finance Committee also reviews major plans for university's physical facilities, including on and off campus transportation infrastructure, and how they impact safety, security, aesthetics, finance, and the surrounding environment. This council does not have any difficulty in obtaining faculty membership. Thank you, Chair Edgerton, for allowing me to address the board today. I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Summy. Any questions? Anything? All right, thank you. And now President Chen Kit-sun, WSA.
Good morning, Chair Edgerton, members of the board, and everyone in attendance. It is my pleasure to address the board for the final time this academic year. Last Wednesday marked my final day as Student Body President, and I'm pleased to pass on the road to the now Student Body President, Kayla Bird. I'm grateful to the incoming administration for giving me this opportunity to address the board one last time. You will hear from her shortly, but I wanted to take this opportunity to provide an update on my administration. This year has been one filled with growth, learning, and excitement, and it's been amazing to spend the last few weeks reflecting on and celebrating the accomplishment this year. I'm also excited that in just a few short hours, I'll be driving to Chicago to board a short 30-hour flight, headed home to Malaysia for the first time in 3 years. Before I begin, I would also like to say that it's sad that it's one of the last time that we have the board meeting in Bernhardt. But it's so exciting that we're going to move to the new student center. And speaking on exciting events, I would also like to congratulate 2,300 Broncos that will be graduating this Saturday. Seeing our Broncos graduating is always worth celebrating for. In addition to this, WSA also had a pretty exciting end of the year celebration last Wednesday. We swore in the new WSA administration, recognized our student leaders' contribution to WSA's significant growth this year, along with the deliverance of the final State of the Student Body address. The lengthy speech used the final product of WSA's first strategic plan initiative as a framework. Thank you to the administrators and staff here who attended our end of the year celebration and celebrated along with us. For all of you here today, I will provide an abridged version of updates of the strategic plan. The strategic plan was a project that ended up being centered around WSA's main purpose of empowerment. Through revising our vision and mission statement to be centered on this ideal, we solidify WSA's responsibility of empowering students to make an impact. This mindset will create more sustainable change and provide opportunities for students to grow both personally and professionally as they prepare to carry their experiences into the WMU community and beyond. The 5 values identified in the strategic plan as WSA's guiding principles from the acronym CARES, C-A-R-E-S, which indicates our dedication to care for student leaders and the student body. WSA holds community, advocacy, responsibility, empowerment, and social justice with high regards, and strive to carry these qualities into all work done by our organization. The final component of the strategic plan is a series of 5 goals WSA will be focused on. You may recognize these goals since they are reflective of the WMU strategic plan's goals to indicate institutional alignment and provide pathways for collaboration. WSA is committed to being focused on a commitment to the campus community, the greater Kalamazoo community, well-being, sustainability, and DEI. We are excited to see where the pursuit of these goals lead our organization in empowering students and creating opportunities for the betterment of our Bronco community. In regards to key metrics, our election result showed a 5% voter turnout, a 43% increase from last year, and the highest since 2015. While we acknowledge this is considerably low, it was a good first step. In regards to membership, Speaker Longlet's leadership helped quadruple our assembly to 283 members, and we were able to allocate about $560,000 to nearly 100 student organizations, triple the amount of dollars and student organization we serve compared to last year. I would also like to thank the Strategic Plan Core Committee, Steering Committee, and the various advisors that helped us further create an identity for the WSA through this project. In addition to this, the team for this project, there are a lot of people to thank. With finals week coming to a close and more time opening up to reflect on the year, I have so much appreciation for a lot of people, but want to take a moment to thank a few today. I would first like to thank Alicia, WSA's Chief of Staff during my administration. She's been the backbone of this organization and contributes significantly behind the scenes. Thank you for continuously serving the student body. I couldn't have done it without your leadership. I would also like to thank 2 of my mentors from this year, Chris Lai and Dr. Schumann. Both played instrumental roles in not only advising and guiding me on decisions related to WSA and the university, but in my personal and professional growth. They spent countless hours pouring into me as a leader, and this year would not have been the same without them. Finally, I would like to thank a group of leaders who I would not be here today without. I would like to invite every student leader here today to stand to be recognized. Can we give them a round of applause? Yeah. So we do have BSU here. Probably you could raise up your hand from BSU, WSA, Greek Life, Aviation Student Council, and we do have the past student body president here as well. Yeah. So. These individuals are the key champions of student engagement. It's been said so many times this year that the best way to get students engaged on campus is through getting other students excited. The students' leaders here today have been most of the biggest drivers in building engagement on campus and have proved their dedication to bettering campus life through endless hours of time spent leading groups of students in creating the change they want to see. I would also argue that this has been the most challenging year for the student leaders as they have to navigate all the implications of the pandemic. So thank you to each one of you for your drive, passion, and commitment to WMU and the Bronco community. To close out, I would like to introduce our new student body president, Kayla Bird. I'm confident that Kayla and her team will lead another great year of progress for WSA in becoming even more successful in representing and empowering the student body. I look forward to the bright future of WSA under their leadership and can't wait for them to prove to you all the positive collaborative change they are capable of bringing. Thank you, and onward for the brown and gold.
Good morning, Chair Edgerton, members of the board, and everyone in attendance. I am so honored and privileged to be addressing the board today for the first time for this next academic and this academic year. I would first like to say thank you to the previous administrations, Sun Marcon and Morris Effinger, for creating such a strong foundation for WSA. Our administration could not begin to do the stuff that we want to do without the work that you have done. And it's so exciting that we have 3 presidential administrations in attendance today. Our administration, which includes myself, Melissa Powers, the Chief of Staff, Mason Durad, the Chief of Finance, and Mariana Bringas, who is my Vice President, who could not be in attendance today, ran with the goal of supporting brighter, bolder Broncos through advocacy, communication, and engagement. And we are very excited for the upcoming year, working with the board, members of the campus, and the community to create a brighter Bronco and a better future for WSA and the campus. So thank you so much, and onward for the brown and gold.
Thank you both. It's excellent, and it's just a great opportunity to see what our students can commit to and perform and manage for the campus to make Bronco life better for all students. So thank you very much. With that, I'd like to invite President Montgomery to introduce Dr. Martini to talk about Student Success Hub.
Sure. Thank you. One of our latest efforts to help our students along their journey is the creation of Student Success Hub. It's a resource designed to transform the way students find academic and support resources and enhances their Western experience. In less than a month since its launch, students have utilized this critical support tool to help stay on track. Dr. Edward Martini is here today to tell us all about its success that it's had so far. Before he takes the mic, I want to talk a little bit about some of the people who put time and effort into making this successful project. It couldn't have been possible without a team of people really from many parts of the campus, including academic advising, the Murray State College, Multicultural Affairs for Students, Career and Student Employment Services, Financial Aid for Students, the Division of Student Affairs, the Office of Information Technology, the Office of Marketing and Strategic Communication, and a whole set of special programs, which I would be remiss if I don't single them out too. Alpha, Camp, Foundation Scholars, Lee Honors Program, MOK Academy, WMU Signature, TRIO SSP, Athletics, CETA Scholars, Kalamazoo Promise, Military and Veterans Affairs, TRIO FESP, and the Zhang Career Center. This is really a cooperative venture. Talk about busting silos. So with that, Dr. Martini.
Thank you, Dr. Montgomery. I think you saved us a couple slides by going through that whole list, so we appreciate that. Thank you, and thank you to Chair Edgerton and to the whole board and friends and colleagues in attendance. We're so excited to share with you a little bit about Student Success Hub. As Chair Edgerton said in her opening remarks, it's very early. We're only about 6 weeks in. We're excited about what we're seeing, but we really want to talk about what we've done to get here and the foundation that we've built for the future, because this is really just the beginning. So I'll introduce you to the dream team here in a minute, who are the folks who are really making this work behind the scenes. Tamika Griffin-Brown, who's our Assistant Dean for Academic Advising in Murray State College. Katie Easley, who's back, our Director of Student Success in Murray State College, and Brian Glock, Director of Enterprise Application Success for OIT. So just to give you a little context for how we got here, the last 18 months have been a really intense period of building, designing, testing, and training, but this has actually been going on for quite a while. Katie and I like to joke that we've been working on this since about 2014, when we both served on the Early Alert Project Action Team. If anybody in attendance was around for the time of TACs and PATs, that was a while ago, but we said at that point that what we really need to move student success forward on this campus is an integrated system to better follow, engage, and support our students. And so we've been working on this in some ways for quite some time. More recently, we've been working to streamline a lot of our different student support services on campus. That was central to the creation of Murray State College and a lot of the functionalized central advising tools that we've put in place to really make it a more seamless experience for students, particularly those who are moving around, going from college to college, changing majors, and protecting students who might be more susceptible to slipping through the cracks of our systems. During COVID, that led us to pilot something that we called Solution Squad, which was very much a pilot project where we were building the airplane while we were flying it, but that really led to the hiring of a couple of our first navigators and has now evolved into the Navigator Network that you'll hear a little bit more about. And then all that came together. We were working on this and thinking about expanding our use of the Salesforce platform and designing what has become Student Success Hub even before we had even heard the term Empowering Futures. But what Empowering Futures has allowed us to do is to dream bigger and think bigger about how we can really build a strong foundation across all of campus to deliver that transformative experience for our students. So with all that in mind, for context, I'll turn it over to Katie, who's going to give you a little bit more information about the folks who have been critical to building this project out.
Thank you for allowing us to speak today, and Dr. Montgomery, thank you for covering most of my content on my first slide, which is to talk about the people behind the Student Success Hub. We all know, no matter how amazing the system is, it's really the people using the system that make the magic and are able to change our environment for our students. So I want to start by giving a shout out to the Office of Information Technology. They've been amazing partners throughout our planning and our implementation. Without them, none of this would have been possible. And then just to draw your attention to the 4 main groups that are utilizing the Student Success Hub, which is the Navigator Network. And I don't know how much you've heard about the Navigator Network because it is a relatively new thing, but that's a cross-VP team of navigators, peer navigators, and navigation specialists who work together to create conditions so our students can thrive, to really meet them where they are and respond to their needs. And we also have our special programs. Dr. Montgomery listed them all, so I won't do that again. Our team of academic advisors from all 8 colleges and career and student employment services. I'll hand it over to Tamika. Oh, I didn't click you, sorry.
There we go. Good morning. You may ask yourself, what is the Student Success Hub? Well, the Student Success Hub allows different units across campus to work collaboratively in one single unit. Okay, one single system, I'm sorry. It also allows students to have one centralized place to make their appointments and connect with different resources across campus. In addition to that, the Student Success Hub has 4 core functions. Those include alerts, appointments, referrals, and the connection to resources. So I'll give you a little bit of background about each one of those core functions. Alerts are raised for students for a multitude of different reasons. A couple of those reasons include low midterm grades, students without graduation plans, students who have not met with their academic advisor during the course of a semester, and those students who are not registered for the following term, just to name a couple. Then also with referrals. Referrals are created when students require the resources of another unit. For example, if a student mentions to their academic advisor, I need help with my resume critique, the academic advisor can then create a referral to the career staff member, which helps to eliminate what we call the Bronco bounce. So instead of telling the student, well, go to career, now we can make the referral to the, for the student to career, and also at that same time, help the student schedule an appointment with the career staff member, okay? Next, this is a view of the Student Success Hub. This is what students see when they log into the Student Success Hub. If you take a look there, you can see that students see advising notes. So any notes that an advisor or navigator write to the student account, they can make them available to the student. In addition to that, they can see any success plan that has been created for them, as well as any assigned tasks for the student. Students can also see the members who are added to their success team, okay? So typically on a success team, you will have an academic advisor, a peer navigator, as well as a staff member from a special program if that student is on or a member of a special program. In addition to that, you will notice that students can make all of those appointments in one place. And then under support, open support pools, that is where students can schedule those appointments with career and success staff members. Next, I am going to turn it over to Katie.
I get to talk twice. So we have a very robust system in the Student Success Hub. In addition to the things that Tamika shared, there's some other things we wanted to draw your attention to. The Thriving Survey, the Post-Contact survey for those who have attended an advising appointment. We have the ability to text message students through the platform. We have a new academic and holistic concern form for instructors to fill out. We have live chat and Buster Bot, our new chat bot. And we have what's I get really excited about, data analytics and dashboards to ensure that we can make evidence-based decisions to best meet our students' needs. So we've only been working with the Student Success Hub live for about 6 weeks, but we are optimistic about some of our early results. Our launch date was on March 16th, and since that time, we've had over 8,500 alerts generated, and over, I think as of this morning, we're probably over 4,000 appointments that have been made by students in the Student Success Hub. We also administered the Thriving Survey on April 3rd. That went out to juniors and seniors because freshmen and sophomores did it in the fall. So for the spring, we focused on them. And after the students did that survey, we had 402 holistic alerts generated that were primarily handled by the navigation specialists. Also, early results, but our fall 2023 retention is looking quite promising. We are up from our fall 22 retention for every class and group, freshmen all the way through seniors. And our FIDIAC retention, this was a few days ago that we turned these slides in, so it's a little bit higher today, but it's about 6 percentage points up from this point in time last year. All right, I will hand this over to Brian.
Thank you. So looking forward, our future plans, we're going to be rolling out some products called Marketing Cloud, which has journeys. Those journeys will provide customized communication which meets the students where they are in a process or just the life cycle of the student as a freshman, sophomore, et cetera. Predictive analytics, the data is being collected now and will assist in this in the future. We are building upon the governance structure that we already have in place today, working more closely and building greater partnership with WMU stakeholders and the prioritization of future enhancements to the system. There's a couple of examples for those governance groups. Storytelling, sharing our story with higher ed, with the higher ed community, as well as with Western. Delivery of our brand promise so that all may learn and how this ties into that. It's very important to us. And then additional point, we're in the last release of 4, and that takes us out to December. That's when we expect to be completed with all of the new stuff being added. From there, we look forward to stabilization of the system, staffing, and training of constituents, and working with the governance groups on future enhancements. Any questions?
So just real quick before we wrap up and take questions, I just want to again point out, I can't say enough about the work that these 3 individuals in particular have done to make this project go from the get-go, but also the nature of this project, as Dr. Montgomery alluded to, has truly been a campus-wide, enterprise-wide lift. So for all the groups and everybody represented, there are dozens, if not hundreds of people behind the scenes who have been working tirely to make this happen. So it has been a great lift, a heavy lift, an amazing project, and we are very encouraged, not just by what we've built and by the early results, but by the foundation that we've built to really scale this up over time from a technical standpoint, but also from a collaborative standpoint. The way in which we are currently operating across academic affairs in partnership with student affairs, diversity, inclusion, Marcom, across all the VP areas has been unprecedented in my 18 years at Western, and that's what makes me most optimistic and most excited about the work that lies ahead. So with that, we thank you and would be happy to answer any questions.
Yep. Thank you, Dr. Martini, and your
I do,
team
I do
and
have
everyone.
a,
and we've
I
got
do have a
couple
comment,
questions.
yes.
Yeah.
So I just want to make a comment. I think I'm very, very excited for this initiative. I think it shows our commitment to the student success. Given the demographic of our student body, a lot of them are first-generation students. I think sometimes we forget something we take for granted is ultimately complex for them to navigate. Because I still remember when I came to the States, even though I'm not first generation, but technically when I came to the States, it's a completely new system. And I was overwhelmed just to look at how to, from A to B, and then you need to go to C, and then you go to D. So this, I think, is critical for the retention and for the ultimate success of their journey at Western. So shout out to you for your work.
Trustee Penn and then Burris.
So thank you very much for the presentation today and all the hard work that you put into this. I really think that it was necessary and needed, and I think the success of the university will be based on the inclusiveness and the participation of this piece. So my question is, I know you guys just launched in March, and you have a lot of people that have been actually engaging, and I think that's great. So how was it communicated to the students? And then the next question is, you talked about collaboration, great. Is the goal to present to WSA? Because as Lynn just stated, you know, these are first-time generation students, right? So I know when I was the representative for the board at WSA, it's excitement there. They opened up with the Bronco song, and I think that them knowing that there is support for them would be great. So can you just speak to that?
Sure. So briefly, we built out, when knowing this was going to be a long-term project, a communication plan. When we did roll it out to students, we had a couple delays and kept it going, so on multiple channels. But I'm proud that WSA was a great partner in that process, and we had representation from WSA leadership as part of that. So they were critical and instrumental to help us rolling that out. We've rolled it into our new student orientation, so as that starts in just a couple of weeks now, this will be a big part of what we do, introducing students to Student Success Hub, and we would look forward certainly to ongoing partnership with WSA to continue to make sure that not just new students, but continuing students have full access and are utilizing the hub.
Thank you.
I'll also add that we worked with Chen Kidd on our governance group, the initial one, as well as I reached out to Kayla, bringing her on board.
I'm sorry, also to add to that, we are also creating a handout that academic advisors will hand to students, and then they will work with students to ensure that they understand how to use and operate the Student Success Hub as well.
Yeah, because just can't say this enough. Like, we can't be successful as a university and stability without the students. They're like our main priority.
Very good. Thank you, Trustee Penn. I'll echo a lot of Trustee Penn's remarks. This is a great project. You guys have to be proud of what you've delivered. And again, I know it's early on, but I'm curious what kind of engagement you're getting and what the barriers are to that engagement that you see. I know it's kind of early, and then, you know, I'd like to translate that into what can we do to help distribute this more, get it out there more, and help improvement, because, you know, a year or two from now is going to look completely different than it does now, right? Thank you.
All right, so some of the early barriers that students have pointed out since the system has been live is knowledge of the system. For some of them, they didn't know that it existed, even though they did receive the emails. So academic advisors are helping them work through that. Additionally, navigating the system has been an obstacle for some students, but again, they are receiving assistance for that. We've had some early positive feedback as well that I just recently received from academic advisors. Students are happy to find that the resources are in one place, that they are able to make appointments for different offices in one location, and then it's just also good to have all of those resources in the one place, and to have a success team was the other positive feedback.
Yeah, so I think we're all encouraged by the early numbers. The biggest metric that we are tracking is adoption. Are all of the staff who we need to be engaging with the system adopting this, and this is kind of where they spend their day living? And increasingly, we want to see that metric move for the students as well. So it wasn't a soft launch this spring. It was a hard launch. We've been playing with live ammo for 6 weeks, but by the time we roll into the fall, we really expect to be firing on all cylinders and expect those usage numbers, unique users for students, to really be going up. One of the things that we think will help with that is that we will have a new mobile app, which is basically the portal in your pocket, and it'll be able to, as our students do, as many of us do, we kind of live on our phones. So as they're walking across campus, boom, a couple clicks, make an appointment, engage with the hub, and we think that will also really drive engagement in the year ahead.
I really think this is an incredibly impressive effort, and I want to make sure I thank Ed. Ed has also got a position at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh as a provost, and that's really a testament to the great work he's done. He's been a great contributor to this campus for the last 18 years, and we will miss you, but thank you. You've left a great legacy.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate it. Dr. Schuman, are there any public comments?
Chair Edgerton, we do not for this section, we do for the end of the meeting.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to action items. With that, I'd like to invite Dr. Anderson to talk about the flagpole renaming.
Good morning. Is it still morning? Yep. Good morning, Chair Edgerton and members of the board and the community and friends. Nice to see everybody here on this sunny day. I'm excited to bring this item to you because ever since I've worked at Western, I have walked from Fonce to the administration building, and I've walked right through an area that students fondly called the flagpoles. The flagpoles is the area between Sangren and the Lee Honors College, and it is a very popular place for students to gather. Western Wednesdays is there every Wednesday. WSA is there. Student organizations reserve that space to advertise their organization's events, to fundraise. It's just a very popular place because it's really an intersection on campus where a lot of students walk to and from class. So we've informally called it the flagpoles forever. But now, this past year, our colleagues in business and finance actually gave it a facelift, and now it was part of a central campus renovation project. And so the area where the flagpoles were has now been replaced with brick pavers with a nice big W in the middle of the circle where students congregate. So Paul Terzino and company, the folks that reserve the space, really need a name. So when students are reserving the space, we have something to call it. And so the students and the staff came up with W Plaza. And the reason we thought that resonated, it really reminds us of the Fountain Plaza, the Board of Trustees Fountain Plaza, and other areas on campus. So today I'm coming to you just to request that we formally name the space where students really like to congregate, the W Plaza. So my recommendation is, it is recommended that the Board of Trustees change the name of the outdoor gathering area formerly known as the flagpoles to W Plaza. And I'm happy to entertain any questions.
I will entertain a motion for adoption.
So moved.
Okay. Mr. Schuman, Dr. Schuman, roll call?
Chair Edgerton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn,
Yes.
Trustee Burris,
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang,
Yes.
Trustee Holdley,
Yes.
Trustee Trevan,
Yes.
Trustee Turfy,
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Now, Director of Athletics, Dan Bartholomew, to discuss the alcohol sales at Waldo Stadium.
Good morning, Chair Edgerton and friends. Good to see everybody today. On behalf of the athletic department and the university, I come before you today seeking approval of 5 one-day liquor license permits for special events at Waldo Stadium to the Michigan Liquor Control Commission, specifically seeking to allow alcohol service, beer, wine, and seltzer specifically, throughout Waldo Stadium. Historically, athletics has only requested from this board and the MLCC alcohol service for the Gill Club with these same one-day licenses. Our intention is to expand the serving locations to include points of sale in the general seating areas, not just in the premium spaces. The request for alcohol service throughout the stadium has been a recurring theme in fan surveys and the Fan Advisory Committee, and apparently with WSA, so that was good to hear. To address this feedback and to align with the university's peers in the Mid-American Conference and the state and nationwide movements to allow alcohol service at football games, the university is seeking to broaden the current alcohol service to include the public seating areas. You all have had a chance to previously review a detailed proposal and plan about this initiative. I'm happy to answer questions you might have about this plan moving forward, but I did want to first point out 4 important points to consider. First, alcohol sales in Waldo Stadium is not new. We have sold alcohol in our Gill Club for 2 seasons without incident. Additionally, we have always allowed a hosted bar environment in our suites and have had a hosted bar in the Sealy Center for pregame events during specific midweek games. We are simply taking an existing and regular special license request and expanding it to the general seating areas. Number 2, alcohol sales in general seating areas is also not new in intercollegiate athletics and not new amongst our peers in the MAC. In fact, if approved, we would be the last MAC school to offer beer and wine sales in general seating areas. Since the NCAA introduced legislation to allow sales at their championship events in 2015, the landscape of alcohol sales at stadiums has changed dramatically. At that time, only 25% of Division I institutions offered alcohol service in general seating areas. Now 2/3 of those institutions do. The numbers in the group of 5 where we reside are even more staggering than that, with Western being only one of 6 schools that do not offer sales in general seating areas. Number 3, this is a fan experience amenity that has been specifically requested by our fans. This year we instituted 2 new fan feedback mechanisms. The first was a fan experience committee comprised of a diverse array of current and former ticket holders, including students, including alums, including faculty and staff. We also introduced a fan feedback survey that is distributed at the end of every home game and reviewed weekly by our administrative staff. Request for alcohol sales in the general seating areas was a consistent theme and noted consistently as an item that would elevate the fan experience and even increase attendance. Number 4, we have carefully and collaboratively developed a plan to execute these sales safely in accordance with best practices and in compliance with the MLCC. This plan was led by Kiana Smith, and I do want to give her a shout out. She did a great job. Very collaborative process, including representatives from our office. Yes, let's give Kiana a shout. Thank you. As I said, very collaborative process, including representatives from our Office of Public Safety, our facility staff, WMU Auxiliary and Bar Services, and our concessionaire partner, the Kalamazoo Concessions and Kalamazoo Growlers. Sales will be facilitated by Kalamazoo Concessions, who would assume full control and management over the service of alcoholic beverages at these games and events. These sales will be administered according to our policy, MLCC policy, and Kalamazoo Concessions will administer training for intervention procedures, also known as TIPS training, to all of their staff. Kalamazoo Concessions holds licenses in conjunction with the MLCC to serve alcohol and assumes all risk for the aspects of alcohol beverage service. All purchasers will have to present ID at every sale. Sales will be limited to 2 items per transaction and will end at the start of the 4th quarter. Alcohol cannot leave the stadium, and fans will not be permitted re-entry once they leave. We have confidence in our partners at Kalamazoo Concessions, as they already have experience serving at their home facility for baseball games. In addition, athletics will introduce a text line so that fans can report any stadium issues immediately and confidentially via their phones. And in partnership with public safety and our stadium management firm, an increased public safety presence will monitor points of sale and general seating areas. In conjunction with public safety and our stadium management contractor, we will also begin to track all public safety incidents in and around the stadium on game day, and we will set up a system to review them regularly. We already hold both pre- and post-game operations meetings with all game day partners the week of a home game and the week after a home game. These attendees already include representatives from our Office of Public Safety, Kalamazoo Concessions, and representatives of WMU Athletics. After our regular postseason meetings, we will ask those groups to gather and specifically review sales data as well as all stadium incidents. These additional meetings will allow us to review current operations and implement new operational strategies as necessary. The goal will be to consistently monitor this new process and improve the stadium environment accordingly. The introduction of House Bill 4328 and Senate Bill 247 has been supported by the notion that there are improved public safety outcomes when alcohol is present in a more regulated manner at stadium events. These include fewer alcohol-related incidents and a decrease in binge drinking prior to stadium arrival. While those statistics, which we have studied at institutions like Ohio State, West Virginia, and Texas, are readily available, I can also speak to my own experience. As Deputy Athletic Director at Oregon State, I was asked to propose and implement stadium-wide alcohol sales and implemented a procedure almost identical to the one that we are proposing today. Alcohol is still being served successfully at Reser Stadium at Oregon State, and during the 3 years after introduction, the majority of our stadium exclusions really changed from what I would call over-intoxication incidents to more minor incidents such as students and others trying to sneak alcohol into the facility, which I would call a direct result of increased monitoring. We also saw an increase in fan attendance, positive feedback from fans on experience, and a significant increase in concession and sponsorship revenues. The last time I was in front of you, I presented on our strategic plan, which included strategies to improve fan engagement, generate new revenues, and provide new concessions options that would excite fans. We see this initiative as being directly aligned with that plan. Appreciate your review of it today, or in full support, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Director. Any questions? Trustee Penn?
So thank you so much for the proposal. It was very detailed, and it kind of makes the decision a little easier, especially to see the comparisons between the other universities. I just want to be, just for clarity, this request is just for this season, and then you'll do another request, or how does this work?
Correct. So
Okay.
typically the way this process works, and of course I'm new to it too, Trustee Penn, but we request special one-day event licenses, and some of those are granted to athletics for use in the premium space. What we're doing is requesting that to be expanded to the general seating areas. If approved, we would, for next season, we would need to, unless there was something changed at the legislature level, we would request the same licenses.
Okay, I'm clear on that now. I just wanted to make sure.
It's confusing,
we were-
especially with the
Yeah.
current news climate, yes.
But my request is, at the end of this year, after you assess it and do the report, please let us know the data that was collected so that we can review it, so that when we're considering this next year, if that's your intent to bring it back before the board, then we can be, aware of how successful we were or any obstacles.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion from the board on the recommendation.
So moved.
Support? Okay, Dr. Schumann, roll call?
Chair Edgerton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn,
Yes.
Trustee Burris, Trustee Chen Zhang, Trustee Holdley, Trustee Trevan,
Yes.
Trustee Turfy,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good success. Before us now on the agenda is the consent items. I'm not sure if any of the trustees would like any of those removed. If not, I will entertain a motion to accept the consent items.
So moved.
Okay. Roll call?
Chair Edgerton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Penn,
Yes.
Trustee Burris, Trustee Chen Zhang, Trustee Holdley,
Yes.
Trustee Trevan,
Yes.
Trustee Turfy, Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, consent items pass.
Okay, thank you. I'd also like to thank the Faculty Senate for their work on the curriculum proposals. There were a lot of them this time, and it was great to see. So I appreciate the work of that, and certainly want to recognize the folks in the personnel report that have since retired from WMU. So, and we appreciate all their work and dedication. With that, we've moved on to our last agenda item, which is public comments. Dr. Schumann, is there anyone that'd like to speak?
Chair Edgerton, there is one request, Ms. Rosella Like, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosella Like Jones, and I wanted to address a concern that I have regarding the students for the College of Aviation. I am the past testing center supervisor for the College of Aviation, and what the testing center did was that it allowed students who were going after their private instrument and commercial licenses to test at the College of Aviation. But because of the pandemic, then my position was eliminated. And so now my concern is that the students have to drive 45 minutes or even longer. They can go to either Grand Rapids, Holt, Michigan, or Dearborn, Michigan to take their exams. And the purpose of the testing center was to allow for the students not to have to drive so far, of course. And the fact of the matter that they're already spending quite a bit of money for an education and then have to turn around and with gas prices being as high as they are, to have to travel far away. The testing center was also not just utilized for the students, but also for the community. Some of the tests that were done was for the Border Patrol, TSA, some of the railroad, Burlington, Northern Santa Fe Railroad, all of the crane operations, all of the cranes that you see around Kalamazoo, those people have to take tests. And they came to Battle Creek to take the test. The testing center for Battle Creek was the largest and the busiest in Southwest Michigan. And when I had made mention of this, the current administration said that it was not cost effective. And then when they made the new testing center, no one really asked for my opinion because I knew how the dynamics as far as the seating and what have you. No one asked for my input, and that was fine. But now they have a testing center that, to my knowledge, is not being utilized for what it was for. And the fact of the matter is that the students have to travel so far is a concern for me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. With that, we've come to a conclusion. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you all for your attendance today.